Just joining us now, we're following breaking news on Penn's campus. Pro-Palestinian protesters are being arrested. Their encampment being disbanded.
Let's get right on over to Katy. Zachry. Katy, you've been out there all morning long. You saw the first officers on bikes rolling in about 5:30, an hour ago.
It's been an hour, and it's been a whirlwind. Take a look at what's going on right now. In the last hour, we have seen a dozen or more arrests of these pro-Palestinian protesters who have been occupying University of Pennsylvania's campus. As we say this, the weather, it's just starting to rain a lot heavier out here. But we have seen a number of arrests, probably 12 to 15 arrests. They've been peaceful so far in nature. Here's how it started. At 5:30 this morning, as we were basically, I was starting to talk to you from my 5:30 live shot, there were dozens of Philadelphia police officers on bikes who converged on College Green, where this encampment has grown over the past 2 weeks, and where they have been told for 2 weeks to disband, disperse, and leave this space. They were told that by university leaders. They refused. So this morning is the result of that. So first, that wave of Philadelphia police officers on bikes came. They formed a barricade around College Green. Then there was a megaphone announcement that told the 2 to 3 dozen protesters who have remained out here in tents to leave, or they would be arrested. We did see, I will say, a handful of protesters ran from this area carrying some of their possessions. The majority of them stayed. Then 2 to 3 minutes later, we saw a large wave of police officers in tactical gear and riot gear. You can see them right now if our camera's hot out here, formed a perimeter around the encampment, and they went through the encampment. And I would say about a third of the encampment, those tents have been taken down by their wands and their batons, and then those arrests started. And they have been peaceful in the sense of the protesters have locked arms, have gathered around the Benjamin Franklin statue here on College Green, and they have held their flag, and they have chanted, and they have remained secure as one, I should say. But their chants are not as loud because 2/3 of their group has been arrested. They are right now in police vans that are still here on College Green. We're turning our camera right now, and you can see one of those vans, at least one of them has its doors open, and that's where the protesters who have been arrested are being held right now. I want to spin our camera back around, and in an instance where a protester refuses to go with the officers have to carry them from the statue. In some cases, the protesters are refusing to walk to the police vans, so several officers will come and carry these men and women. There is a group of Penn students who began this protest, and then it grew into an encampment. But as it grew, it gathered and garnered many more people in the sense of students from Drexel, from Temple, from other colleges, and from other pro-Palestine coalitions throughout Philadelphia. And right now, one of the protesters holding the flag, she was removed from the statue, and she is letting police arrest her. As I said, about 25 minutes ago, police came with a megaphone, and a recording was played that they are in violation of trespassing laws. If they do not disperse and leave College Green, then they will be arrested. Everyone who remains will be arrested, and that's exactly what is happening right now. Keith and Aaron.
Seeing about 3 actually, you know what? It looks like there's a lone protester left at this point.
There may be some on the side that we can't.
Well, no, I can tell you, yes. You can't see to the right behind this police barricade. There are probably, I would say, half a dozen to a dozen still left.
Okay.
And you can see this. There's one who, I mean, they're resisting arrest. Some have not resisted arrest, and they've acquiesced, and they've gone with the officers, and they've kind of remained stone-faced, and they've had no expression and nothing to say. But there are others who are very verbal, who are resisting arrest. But again, we haven't seen any violence, contrary to what one protester told me at the very beginning of this, when police started moving in. He said, "We are holding fast, we are staying our ground, and we will escalate." I said, "What do you mean by escalate?" He didn't tell me, or couldn't tell me, or maybe that was just a line he was giving. But now you see another line of police in tactical gear. So I think what we might see here is, okay, they're going right now. They are looking in some of the tents that are still up. I would say a third of the encampment in terms of the tents, they have been taken down. Police have gone through them, broken down the tents. And so right now you have officers who are going into some tents. They seem to be focusing on this one tent that has a green and white tent in front of us. There may be someone inside. I don't know. I can't get a good angle. Yes, I believe they have pulled someone, from inside that tent out, and it looks like they're arresting them. I'm going to move over a little bit because, as you can imagine, our colleagues from other stations, we are shoulder to shoulder reporting on this, so I want you to be able to hear me. This is something that's been coming. We've gotten numerous correspondence and communication from the University of Pennsylvania leaders. We know that there has been communication and there's been dialogue. A producer's talking in my ear about what's happening. There has been communication from university leaders with the protesters, with faculty members who have been advising these protesters. There has been discourse between protesters and university leaders, and leaders have told them in no uncertain terms, you need to disband. This is for the health and safety and welfare of those on campus, and this was preventing that. This encampment was preventing that. So now, Aaron and Keith, I'm going to send it over to my colleague, Siobhan McGirl, who, Siobhan, you are at 34th and Walnut.
Hey, Katy, we're not far from where you are right now. We're right at the entrance into College Green Quad area. Police are keeping us back right now with this barricade. We do see those police vans set up that you were talking about, one with the door open right now. We were told that one police van already made its way out, filled with people who were arrested. These are on standby. I want to show you, we'll wrap it around this way. So you can see police over here are keeping people from this entrance into the quad. I want to note, I did see Philadelphia's police commissioner when I was walking in this way. I asked him, we had heard about this looking like a coordinated effort between the city and the university. He said he could not comment on that right now. You see they have all of that area blocked off right now, and I do want to note the roads in the area are also blocked off, a lot of traffic. Just walking up here, I counted a dozen police vans on one road. They say they're standing by, so a lot of these roads in the area are blocked off with police lining the area. Anyone traveling this morning should keep that in mind. We'll bring it back over here. This is over where Katy is standing beyond these barricades. Again, you see these police vans on standby just in case anyone else is arrested here.